welcome to 52%.
The show that explores everything and anything going on in Liverpool and beyond from the perspective of 52% of the population, women.
I'm Jennifer Jewel.
And I'm Lisa Simmons. And this week we're feeling aspirational and inspirational and getting motivated to do something incredible.
Here's what's coming up on today's show. We're joined in the studio by Julie Chadwick, recently in the news for saving the Dovecot Active Women's Fitness Group from closure, shedding 5 stone and changing her life in the process, and is now a local ambassador for the Sport England campaign, This Girl Can. And we're also joined by Sarah Williams of Tough Girl Challenges, an organisation all about finding fulfilment and challenging yourself. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. At first, I want to find out a bit more about what you do, Sarah. You're from Tough Girl Challenges. What is that exactly?
So it's a company that I set up about 6 months ago it's all about motivating and inspiring sort of women and girls to do more, to get fit, to get active, to have great challenges and to just try new things and get outside of their comfort zone.
What kind of challenges though? Tell us more.
So some of the challenges that I've done have been running the London Marathon 5 times, climbing Kilimanjaro, I've done bungee jumping, skydiving, I've just recently taken up weightlifting, so it's a whole variety of different weightlifting.
Kilimanjaro.
How heavy are these weights that you're lifting?
They're getting pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Like I want to get up to a 100-kilogram deadlift, but I'm currently on about 80 is my best at the moment, so it's improving slowly.
That's unbelievable.
That
I mean,
is
how did
amazing.
you get involved in wanting to do this to begin with? Has your background always been doing these challenges?
No, so what started, I actually spent 8 years working in banking, and when I was doing it, I wasn't really getting that sort of sense of satisfaction, and so I ended up doing a lot of charity work and working with a lot of women's organisations such as UN Women and Women for Women International, and I found out that I was actually really passionate about inspiring other people to go and give things a do and to just do things that they didn't think were possible. And I decided to leave my job, and I had a year off and I went travelling around the world. I headed over to South America, I went and climbed Kilimanjaro, I spent some time in Australia. And it was while I was doing all these sort of ventures and challenges, I thought, well, why don't I just put everything that I love together and create my own company? So, you know, I love travel, I love adventure, I love challenging myself and pushing myself sort of both physically and mentally. And Tough Girl Challenges became sort of my company.
How old were you when you did this?
So I quit my job when I was 31.
Wow.
So it's quite a big change. And
Massive.
then a year sort of travelling, and then sort of 6 months sort of considering what are my next steps, what do I want to do. And then sort of it was last December that Tough Girl Challenges came about. So I've now got a website where I sort of blog about all my adventures and different challenges that I do. So some are small, some are larger than others. So I'm currently training for something called the Marathon des Sables, which is 6 marathons in 6 days across the Sahara Desert. So
That is a tough girl
wow.
challenge
That is a
and a
challenge.
half.
That is fantastic. Well, we'll chat a little bit more as well about what you do in a little second. But I want to talk to you, Julie. Tell us, because you were involved in helping save the Dovecot Active programme. Where you tell us about that?
Well, initially I started off with I lost 4 stone through Slim and Wales.
Okay.
And then I've up until about 2 years ago, I'd never done any exercise at all in my life whatsoever. I'm still a bit like with it.
Yeah,
you know,
still not completely natural.
But then basically I started attending these classes, fitness classes in the local area, run in community centres, local schools and things. But then and I loved it so much. It wasn't just like a fitness class. It was like a little, you know, it was like a family of women.
Somewhere to socialise as well, I suppose.
Oh yeah,
that's
of course,
important.
yeah. It was like just go down. It wasn't fitness really. It was just about going down, having a couple and a little natter with the girls. It was. I loved it really. And then the funding was coming to an end. Couldn't get the women in and things like that. And I just got me and a couple of other girls got the opportunity to get the training, and you know, to keep the classes running basically. So we was from September we've been doing them, you know, keeping them going for like free of charge, and then obviously we're trying to get funding, so we've had to start charging a little bit, but yeah,
that's amazing. How does it feel to be responsible for being an influence on so many or the women who want
Oh
to
God,
get
it feels amazing.
Yeah.
I've got loads of people now, even people in here, because obviously I went into the newspaper as well with the Slimming World story. I've got loads of people coming in, sort of, when I go out to have like a little drink with your friends and stuff, and people staring at me, and I think they're looking at me strangely, but then you realise they come over to you and they go like, come on, tell us that really, how did you do it?
Yeah.
It's like, it takes me back sometimes.
Yeah.
It's emotional.
Because you say as well, you'd never really done exercise before.
Oh
you
no,
went
I
on to
hated
these
it. Even when I was
classes.
at school, I hated PE. I've always struggled with my weight.
Right.
I've always been up and down. But then obviously, I'm through certain things happen through your life. So that's what probably my main one was that, like depression and things like that was my main focus. Why I wanted to change. And other things like miscarriages and family being diabetic and all stuff like that obviously inspired me, and that's where I am now. It's just like I'm not going back there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once you've made that change, you stick to it, don't you? Because you see how it affects you personally, and as you say, yourself emotionally and mentally. And once you go down that path, you can't go back there because you see what's opening up in front of you.
Yeah.
I suppose that's what you see Sarah doing.
Yeah.
Can you see yourself doing anything like that?
Oh, definitely now. Now I can.
Yeah.
It's about 3 years ago. No, definitely not. I was like. Even to go to the gym now, I still have to push myself. I still have to, it's
that
still
was
a bit.
Challenge initially,
Yeah,
wasn't
it is, and it still is. It still is. People look at me now and think, oh, you're addicted. You must love it, and I'm like, I don't really. It's just that the thought of going back to where I've come from, it's really scary. Like even recently, I've put another 13 pound back on, because I've been so busy and not being able to keep to my diet and things like that. But But I know it's in the back of my head, and I won't go back there. I won't.
Yes. So it's almost like a fear pushing you on, isn't it?
I was going to say, I think what's really important is that you're a role model for so many other women, that they've actually seen you do it.
Yeah.
And once you see somebody else do it, then people start thinking, wow, if she can do it,
Yeah.
I can do it.
It makes it real, doesn't it?
It does. Both you ladies have made really big changes in your life, haven't you? What benefits have you gone from changing your life so dramatically?
Oh, wow. For me, I used to spend, 14, 15 hours a day stuck at my desk. I had like 2 computer screens. I used to wake up at 5:45 in the morning, straight onto the BlackBerry, commuting into London, Canary Wharf, working all day, not going outside at all. And you suddenly look up and you sort of realise that you're quite ill, like you're drained, you're grey, you just don't have any energy. And you just, on this sort of this stepping machine, you just sort of can't seem to get off it. And now suddenly I've obviously made like quite a drastic change, and I've come to realise I don't need to kill myself to, to do what I want to do. And I've got more of a work-life balance now, and I'm doing everything that I love. And when people talk about having a job that you love, and it's not really like
you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love what I do. I love, I love going out. I was recently in a school on the Wirral, talking to their year 8s about doing challenges and getting outside of their comfort zone, which was absolutely fantastic, because these girls had some great goals and ambitions, and you were just like, and sometimes all they need is someone to say to you, you can do this, go for it. Like your group, like all the women are going there and they get that support. So
absolutely. How important is it, as you just touched on there, Sarah, to have support of other people to make a change? Because it's not something you can do very easily, is it?
Oh God, it's really important, because basically for me, going to these active women classes allowed me to take my children, because we had like the childcare as well. Because like if you went to the gym, you haven't necessarily got that there really. So that's what's helped me, because I've got 3 children. I've been bringing them up. I've had relationships, but I've brought them up by myself.
Yeah, so it's hard to get away and go to the gym sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's hard to make a change, though, isn't it? Did you have like a switch moment when you thought, I'm going to quit my job and move, or was it a gradual?
I don't think it's hard to make a change. I think you can make a change like instantly. The problem is it's going through all the discussions beforehand. So it's like, well, do I leave my nice steady employment and my life in London?
You can overthink it, can't you?
You can overthink it, and you start thinking, well, what could happen? Will I ever get a job again? Like, what do I want to do? And sometimes when you actually make that decision, you make it straight away, and that's when the change happens. So
everything kind of falls into place then, doesn't it? Once you've set your mind on that goal, it just happens.
But how much of a risk did you find it, though? Were there a lot of doubts there? Because I think that's what held people back, isn't it?
It is. I think you do have a lot of doubts. You always have that sort of voice in your head, which is, like the doubters are, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that. But I think doing some of the challenges that I've done, sort of like running the London Marathon, for example, when you're actually out there and you're getting to like the 20-mile mark, there is a voice in your head, which is either basically saying, oh my God, my feet hurt, I'm tired, you know, how can I continue? Why do I keep going? And then you need to change it. You need to change it so it's positive and that you're thinking, yes, I can do this, keep making progress, keep moving forward. And once you've almost changed your attitude and your belief and thinking that, yes, I can do this, then it sort of just happens, but you can't do it with a negative attitude. You've got to really change it.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, now earlier this year, Sport England launched a campaign to get more women involved in sport and exercise. To promote the campaign and encourage women to get involved, a brilliant This Girl Can advert was made, and it has caused something of a stir.
Today we've been doing flash mobs across the city to help launch the This Girl Can campaign, helping to promote exercise for women, helping them to get active, community-based and all across the city.
Basically bombarded the city centre with a load of women, normal women being fit and doing what we can do and showing what everyone else can join us and help us getting everybody fit.
I've been here with my instructor and my taekwondo club doing a little bit of taekwondo, a bit of pad work, a little bit of self-defence sparring to promote This Girl Can, to get women into sport and to be fit and active.
I'm here today to promote hula hooping as a fun way of getting fit to the ladies of Liverpool.
Well, it just gets women out there doing something, going to the gym, going dancing, going hula hooping, anything to get them out there. Doesn't matter whether you're 20 or whether you're 70 or 80, doesn't matter, as long as you get out there and just do it. You know, better than watching television.
Hello and welcome back to 52%. Now, ladies, before the break, we were talking about the This Girl Can advert, which is absolutely fantastic. What do we all think?
We've mentioned it a few times, haven't we? We really are big fans of it.
Why do we love it?
I just think it's amazing that you've got like real life, real women. I know that sounds silly, but instead of, it's not all sort of gorgeous, stick thin models looking incredible. It's like actual women going out and doing sports, and you're doing sports because it makes you feel better and it gets you active and it keeps you fit and it keeps you healthy. So I think that's fantastic.
Of course, you're a local ambassador, aren't you, for the This Girl Can campaign? What is it trying to promote?
It's just that if anyone, if I can do it, you can do it, everyone can do it.
So now you obviously are part of promoting this in the local area,
and I'm so proud and honoured to be asked. I am.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm amazed.
Because you obviously said you never exercised before. Does it put us off thinking, oh, I don't want to go to a gym because everyone's going to be super fit and look great and I don't. I'm not that in shape.
We all have to start somewhere.
I think as well when you do go to gyms or fitness class or whatever, not everyone does look like they're Jessica Ennis, do they?
Or Elle Macpherson.
I think it almost starts in school though, because you get to like 13, 14 and you're female and your body's changing, and most girls are like, oh, I don't want to go and do PE, I don't want to go and play sports. It's just sort of like a really embarrassing time.
You get self-conscious.
You get very self-conscious, and then you can actually end up missing out on like a good few years of not playing sports. And when it's very difficult then to almost go back in and get back into whether it's playing netball or joining a gym, because you've actually got to do something which is quite scary for a lot of people, and you've always got to face your fear and do something different.
Absolutely.
We are our own worst critics, aren't we? And it's wrong.
But actually this campaign, I think, is helping to almost encourage women to be even more supportive. The group, when you were talking about, it's actually a group of women who are supporting other women to keep fit, and they'll encourage them to go.
Yes.
And so I think there has been like massive changes and more women are getting involved in sport.
I love the hashtags where it says, I jiggle, therefore I am.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because
they do resonate with all of us because we all jiggle, we all get hot, we all get purple. I don't feel like a fox when I exercise. Who does? Like probably Elle Macpherson.
No, but Julie, you are involved. Do you find the fact that when women are on each other's side and are working together, does it break down that barrier?
Yeah, well, that's it. That's as like when you come to active women, we're not like judging anyone. It's not even about taking part in the fitness. It's about like opening up and clearing your mind. And as soon as you get once you feel comfortable in the group that you're in, that the fitness comes with it. yeah.
It's a secondary thing almost, isn't it? Do you find that with the challenges you do? Are they more mental challenges or more mentally inspiring?
I would say your body can do incredible things, but the things that always sort of let you down is actually your mind, because your mind always gives up, and it's the doubters inside saying, oh, you know, I can't do this, or, you know, I'm embarrassed and I can't do it. And if you think that way, you never will. So for a lot of the challenges that I do, it is a mental challenge for me. But so I may be going to run, say, 250 kilometres, but that is the same challenge for me as somebody else's 5K. So somebody who hasn't run before, that is a mental barrier that they need to get through. But once they've run their 5K, it's suddenly like, oh my God, I've done this, I've completed it. And then it's like 10K. Yeah. And then you just sort of carry on.
Well, I was going to say, how do you get through that? Because I'm not a great, I like running, but I get to a point where it's like, oh, it's been half an hour now. Like I'm bored of it rather than I'm tired. How would you get over that? How would you tell someone to get over that block?
Oh God, that's a really good question. To get over that, but I don't know. I think when you start running and when you sort of get into this flow, you sort of forget that you're actually running, and your mind just goes off, and that's why running is well, you don't think about any problems or, you know, anything else like that. You just go and you sort of forget everything, and that's why it's almost so therapeutic. So you can get in this flow, and then suddenly before you know, it's like, oh my God, I've run like 6 miles, and it's like, well, how did that happen? But I think it can take a while for you to get to that stage, and that's why in the beginning you've got to just keep pushing yourself and just
power on through. I suppose it's more finding something that you enjoy doing. It doesn't have to be running, does it?
But it could be walking. You know, find a friend, go for a walk. If you've got children, you know, get some prams, go walk together. Biking, Zumba, dancing, anything that gets you outside and gets you into the fresh air has got to be a good thing.
That's exactly how I lost my 5 stone. To be honest with you, just in that same mindset, like just don't focus on like the stone. It's, you know, just the pound. That's basically just getting a pound off a week. You know, and that's how I did it, really.
Absolutely fantastic. Should we move on now to what's trending and get back to the run and talk a little bit later on? But we are going to move on. What's been trending this week, Lise?
Well, there's been quite a few things trending this week. One of my favourites is the Cannes Film Festival. Festival. That's a mouthful. Apparently, there's no apparent about it. They were turning people away for wearing flats.
On the red carpet?
On the red carpet. I don't think I'd ever run in stilettos, but if
well, interestingly, there was actually a world record this year at London Marathon about a woman who did actually run the marathon in stilettos, in heels. Oh God, so you can actually do it.
Yeah, but
that girl did.
Yeah, absolutely. But how horrific is that, though, to be turned away because you're not dressed, you know, you're not wearing heels?
According to their, you know, dress code.
I was going to say, well, who decides what it's okay for someone else to wear?
Isn't it? No, they.
I mean, obviously, if you're going, you know, you're going to a black tie event, as long as you're dressed appropriately, but you can still have glamorous flat shoes. You don't have to wear heels.
Would we think that men get told to wear a specific?
Or be told to wear heels?
Well, I think a few of them do, you know, have their lifts in their shoes, especially the short ones.
Yes, Cuban heels, are they? Is that what they are?
Yeah, Cuban heels.
That's a bit hype. What would you do, though, Lisa, if someone said to you, you can't come in because I think you would always have your heels on, to be honest, wouldn't you? If someone told you?
No, it's just not happening now, because at the end of the day, you don't know what's going on in that person for them to wear those heels. It makes me feel better. It makes me stand better. It corrects your posture. And for me personally, it finishes off an outfit. The shoes are the best accessory. That's my personal thought. Obviously, everyone's different.
Yeah.
I mean,
however, some people.
Well, what I was going to say is when I used to work in banking, being a female in a very male-dominated environment, one of the things that I used to do was always wear heels. So suddenly, you know, if you're talking to a 6'3", 6'4" guy, and I'm a good few inches shorter, suddenly I'm on the eye level, and it's like a power dynamic. So it's always wear your heels, and it does make you stand taller, and it makes you feel more powerful, and that's sometimes what you've got to do.
Yes. However, some people have medical issues. I mean, they can't wear heels. What?
Yeah, I tend to stay in my flats, to be honest with you. I mean, I agree. They do look take you know, the outfit. But no, I prefer flats.
There was a lady at Cannes that was actually turned away, and she, for some medical reason, she had to wear flat shoes. Now that's taking it too far.
Absolutely.
I mean, do you have to turn up with a medical card?
Well, it's fine to encourage people to wear heels. Where you're encouraged, you can't make somebody wear them, can you?
No, it's disgusting, absolutely appalling behaviour.
Well, I'll predict that. I'm sure that plan won't be in operation next year at the Cannes Film Festival.
Well, we won't go.
No. We'll move on now to George Clooney. I'm sure was at the Cannes Film Festival. He's come out this week, hasn't he, and said that the world should be a more positive place. He doesn't like watching news because everything's depressing, and
same.
He doesn't think it doesn't look good for the future. What do you ladies think about that?
I have to say, I completely agree. Like if you turn on, if you turn on the news or anything, it's so depressing all the time, and you're actually having like all these negative thoughts just constantly hitting you. And you know, I'd rather have I want to hear positive news stories. I want to hear good news stories about things that people have done, and make you feel happy, and that actually improve like your how you actually feel. So I think it's people should look at the world in a more positive way.
Though, because we can't just have the news about happy, because that's not reporting the news, then, is it?
But right now it's all
bad news sells, though, because if you know if you walk past a newspaper stand and it's something, oh, everything's good today, you think, oh, good, carry on. Whereas it's like, big.
I'm glad I don't have time to watch it, to be honest with you. I haven't got 3 kids, and I don't. And people try to make conversation with me and say, like, well, did you see this, or did you see that, or did you read about this? And I'm like, I can actually say no, and I'm glad I did.
I know. Do I need to know what's going on halfway across the world? And sometimes you think, are there things we need to know, or is it just because, as you said, drama almost and badness sells?
I think you do need to be aware of what's happening, but I think you've almost got to take everything with like a pinch of salt, and just realise that actually sometimes it is sensationalised, and it's
definitely.
But nowadays, I think with Twitter as well and Facebook, how people get your news is very, very different. Yes. So you can actually get news in different ways. So the vote they had over in, about gay marriage over in Ireland, like that was so positive on Twitter. It was all, Ireland voted for love, which is absolutely amazing. And I didn't see like sort of any negative things. Yeah. Whereas actually it could have been portrayed in a very negative way.
I mean, let's be honest, if we were waking up to George Clooney on our TV screens every day.
Positivity, of course, then, isn't it? Positive. But of course, this weekend, everyone's been talking about the 3 queens that arrived in Liverpool. Did you ladies go and see them?
Yes, amazing. I loved it.
Yeah. Wasn't it?
I want to do it all over again.
Did you not, Sarah? What about you?
I didn't, unfortunately. I was like, oh, I know. I was like, 3 big ships. Why is it so important? I didn't really sort of understand it. I did look at them from a distance, but I didn't go into Liverpool because I just heard it was going to be crazy. Like people flying in from America to come and see it.
Well, I went down. It was absolutely jam-packed. There were coaches lined up everywhere. People had come from all over the country. And
that was positive, was it? That was good. Happy news. Putting Liverpool on the map in a positive light, because it gets a lot of negativity. There's Liverpool looking amazing across the world.
And it was absolutely great job done by
well
Liverpool.
done.
And it was a little free outing for with your kids.
Absolutely, free day out.
And you're getting inside as well into the fresh air.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. Thanks. Join us after the break for more 52%.
Welcome back. In today's show, we've been talking about how women can do anything they want to if they put their mind to it. But it's not just women who can be inspired enough to follow their dreams and motivate others to do the same.
Yes, it's a case of this boy can too. We've spoken to James Morgan, Chester's real-life Billy Elliot, who last year joined the Matthew Bourne company and helped run the Lord of the Flies project, which aimed to get young men aged between 16 and 25 involved in contemporary dance. With over 400 young men participating in the project, 50 went on to perform alongside professional dancers at the Welsh Millennium Centre. So let's take a look.
I live my life through dance. It's in the air that I breathe. It's how I express myself. I can tell a story without speaking a single word. My role is to search out new raw talent to give young males the opportunity to dance. I know from my own experience how difficult it is to get into dance. As a child, I had a passion for dance that refused to die. Like Billy Elliot, I joined my first dance class at the local Girls' Guide Hut. In 2014, I started my role as dance ambassador for the Matthew Bourne Lord of the Flies dance project. I delivered dance workshops to over 400 males, aged between 9 to 25 years, with little to no dance experience.
Anyone should be able to do anything if that's what they love doing. Like, my sister is a huge rugby and football fan, and they're normally considered with, only men and boys who can play football and rugby. But there's so many girls out there who love football and rugby, and there's so many men out there who love dancing and ballet. There's there shouldn't be a stereotype that girls have to do ballet and boys have to do rugby. It should be everyone's doing it all if that's what they want to do. I mean, everyone has probably done some sort of dancing to some sort of music in any part of their life. Like my nan has, and the president probably has, and the Queen's probably has. But there shouldn't be a stereo. There shouldn't be like girls are more better dancers than men are better rugby players than girls. It should be, if you enjoy doing it, you should do it, and you shouldn't care what anyone else thinks.
After this, it's changed what I want to do, because I never used to know what I wanted to do, and just performing on the stage has made me think I want to do something just performing, whether it's dancing or acting. It's just, I feel that it's pushed me in a direction. It's helped me find my path.
The whole concept of this production was brought to us actually by some people at Scottish Arts Council, Creative Arts in Glasgow about 3 years ago, and they had some funding which they wanted us to make a piece of professional work, the sort of piece we would normally make, but that would include local young men within it in an integral way, not sort of just a token way. And these young men, specifically men, boys, had to be not necessarily have had any training or some of them not even any interest in coming to the theatre, or maybe not even been inside a theatre before. And I initially said a Lord of the Flies type thing, I said. Then of course when we looked into the rights, it became more, it is the Lord of the Flies. We couldn't do a Lord of the Flies type thing. And the reason it came into my head straight away is because it was untrained boys, some of them. I felt the movement naturally would be quite rough and quite hard-edged and achievable, you know, with young men who were passionate about doing it, but not necessarily trained.
24 young male dancers went on to perform in Lord of the Flies at the Wales Millennium Centre. I have been investigating attitudes towards dance, teaching and learning styles and structures to motivate young talent. This has been key for me to develop in my professional practice. After the success of Lord of the Flies, it was clear that this could not be the end of the project, so the Matthew Bourne Company has set up a legacy grant to provide seed funding. With the help from other sponsors, the aim is to continue to change young people's lives through dance.
I think I'll take away a bit more confidence in myself, because I never used to be a confidence person. I always used to be the one who would thought, oh, I'll just be in the background, but it's just, after performing it, you really should try your hardest and everything, and that's made me think as well about confidence, of just taking on anything, because you never know where they might lead you.
Really emotional.
Oh, that was so touching, that little boy saying about, you know, you should be able to do anything you want.
Well, you should, shouldn't you? Because we do talk a lot about here about the challenges that women or females face, but men face a lot of challenges too, don't they, in life?
I think you really hit the nail on the head as well, because sometimes it's girls can only do dance, they can only do ballet, boys can play the rugby and do the kickboxing, whereas actually girls would benefit from doing, you know, playing rugby or playing football, and boys would equally benefit from doing dance and learning ballet. But there are these like gender stereotypes out there. But I think at the moment with campaigns like This Girl Can, there's starting to be this massive shift about like gender and what is gender and what's appropriate for girls and what's appropriate for boys. Because, you know, even with the toys, they've now, you know, there aren't toys for girls and toys for boys. It's just toys. Just toys, which is the way it should be.
Yes.
So.
Do you think this campaign, the This Girl Can campaign, is breaking down those barriers for, obviously, we want to talk about boys as well, but is it breaking down those gender barriers that obviously are there, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah. I mean, it's just about making people aware of it, because not everyone's aware of it.
Yeah, because he talks about dance, he said everyone's dance, but it's seen as cool, isn't it, to do street dancing or break dancing for boys. That's quite common. When you look at ballet and you see, I remember Billy Elliot coming out and it was such a, like, a revelation, wasn't it, to watch a film like that? And is it breaking down the stereotype that we've got as well? Because men can be fantastic contemporary dancers.
Absolutely. But it's even the phrases that people use. Oh, don't be such a girl, or why are you doing why are you doing ballet like a girl, or just and actually when
even if boys cry.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a big girl.
But there are actually, because there's huge problems with the fact that boys aren't allowed to get in touch with their emotions and their sensitive side, and so actually we're causing this massive imbalance at anything. So like this dance campaign, I have to say I'd love to go and watch The Lord of the Flies. That looked absolutely fantastic.
Didn't it?
So
It's breathtaking.
It was. You've got children, and you've got children too. Have you got children, Sarah? No, not me. But if your child wanted your son wanted to be a contemporary dancer, would anything go through your head to think? Is that what you should do?
I hate prejudice on every level. So for me, no.
Yeah.
You touched on toys before, and that's a really interesting topic, because whether we like it or not, boys and girls, Harry automatically goes towards, the army stuff when he was younger.
Yeah.
Olivia more towards dolls.
Yeah.
And you'd never want to force your son to play with a doll, but then you don't stop them. And I think as they get older, that's where these kinds of campaigns do need to increase.
Would you think it'll change? Because obviously our generation now, we think a lot differently, because the media is now projecting with this Girl Can campaign and with other campaigns more of an acceptance of this thing. Can we see it change in the future?
Oh, I massively. I really think so. I think there's sort of huge change underfoot. There was a story in the papers over in America recently about a little boy, but who identified more with being sort of a girl. He knew he was a boy, but he wanted to be, to play with dolls and things like that. And the parents actually, actively encouraged it, and people are becoming more aware of it. Girl Scouts in America, they now let they let trans children in as well. Yeah. So, and it's just sort of opening up all these great opportunities. So
it's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah,
to see.
I think it is all about equality and just putting your children on the right path. I mean, we're starting, hopefully we've instilled enough in our children so that when they have children, it's getting better and better.
Media plays a big part as well, though, doesn't it? Are the media coming around to this idea, do you think, as well, as that men don't have to do certain things?
Oh God.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Would you say they are?
I think they're slowly are. It's things when celebrities get involved. So you had Angelina Jolie's daughter who wanted to have short hair and basically to dress wearing boys' clothes.
Shiloh.
I can't remember which one of the children it was. But actually, even the fact that was in the media is automatically going to get people to start thinking, oh well, if Angelina, if Angelina's letting her child dress like a boy.
But why can't you have your own confidence? Why does it have to be a celebrity endorsement? Why can't you have your own confidence?
I think people are afraid of being judged, aren't they? And people can be quite judgmental. And I think you don't want your child or yourself or anyone to come under that judgment and
to be seen as
different. When you're younger, you want to fit in. It's, when you go to school, you want you want to have friends. You want to fit in. It's only when you get older you actually understand the benefits of actually being unique, being different, and standing out. Because it's all it's the people who are unique who end up doing like incredible, amazing, different things. They don't necessarily have to follow the crowd, but obviously it's very difficult to do that when you're younger because you do just want to.
It is different now because like when I was growing up, I had 3 brothers and they, for instance, haircuts. They had shaved heads, and you wouldn't see a lad picking a product up when I was growing up. My son now, he's got a comb over, his hair's dead long, and he spends more time in front of the mirror than me. He's like products. He's got more products than me. It winds me up. God, let me shave that hair off.
But it's embracing the metrosexuality almost, and they feel allowed to moisturise and the rest of it.
Is that a new thing as well? Because if you do look at kids in school now, they are all doing that, aren't they?
Everyone's got long hair. It's like the norm.
I know my son's school, the headmaster sends a letter out and he says, and if I see any more Joey Essex hair, do you know what he said?
That's an age thing, I think, isn't it?
It's definitely something that you see, isn't it? It's something that people see and they want to follow, and as you said, everyone wants to fit in. So the fact that we're making it so public that it's fine to be different, it's fine to dance if you're a boy, it's fine to sweat and jiggle around if you're a girl. That's what's changing it, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think we all want to aspire to be Elle Macpherson and wake up to George Clooney.
Fantastic. Okay, join us after the break for more 52%.
Welcome back. Now, don't forget you can follow us on social media, Twitter @BayTV_Liverpool, and you'll find us on Facebook. Sarah, Tough Girl has a Twitter.
We do.
Doesn't it?
Or I do as well. Yep, so it is @_tough_girl.
I love the way she goes, tough.
Yeah.
It should be tough.
Yeah.
That's breaking down our stereotypes, isn't it? Ladies, we've been talking all episode about how we should be trying different things and pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone. What new things would you ladies like to do? Is there anything, I'm sure you've done pretty much everything there is, so I might go to Julie first and say, what would you like to do that you've never tried?
To be honest with you, it's swimming, because I mean, I'm okay at swimming, but I just don't like the water going over my head. So I think something to do with swimming.
Start off in the bath.
Yeah.
What, just pretend?
Yeah, it'll be easier, a lot easier. I probably won't panic as much.
Do you think it's something you're going to take up though?
Yeah, definitely, definitely, because it's always good to try new things, isn't it?
Swimming, not getting in the bath.
Sorry, swimming. I'm gonna go to Sarah last because I've got a feeling she's got a million things that she's done. So Lisa, what would you like to try that you've not done?
Probably wear flats 5 days.
That'll be hard.
What about you?
Any
sport?
Any challenge you'd like to do?
Probably something martial arty, because I like the gym. I do the spinning and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I did take up boxing for a little while, but just careers got in the way and I've stopped. And I love boxing, love it.
Yeah, okay.
What about you?
I'd love to do a marathon. I think that's something I've always thought about, but I never pushed myself to do it.
You just said you got bored running. It's 26 miles of running.
Yeah.
26.2.
Oh, 26.2.
It'll be that last 2 you got bored.
The first 2. The first 0.2. Yeah, no, I think that's why I like the idea of it, because I do want to challenge myself, and I do think it's important to think, oh God, I'm not good, I'm not comfortable at doing that.
Would you do a marathon in heels?
No.
I do one in flat, you do it in heels.
No chance of that, no, absolutely not. But as we say there, it's about finding something you are not comfortable with, and what benefits does that give? Because you have done pretty much everything. Go on, run through your list of what you've done. Go on.
So some of the things I've done.
Start at the most toughest that you did.
The toughest thing I've done would be Kilimanjaro, climbing Kilimanjaro in Africa, the highest mountain, cycling down Death Road in Bolivia, climbing a live volcano in Chile, which actually recently exploded or erupted.
Oh, wow.
So that's not available anymore to do. Yeah, thankfully not that. I've run a couple of marathons, run London Marathon 5 times, run the Snowdonia Marathon. I'm trying to think what other things I've done.
This puts your marathon and my doing a marathon in flats to shame.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all, though. But what you talked before about why would you do something that gets you outside of your comfort zone? Because when you sort of, your comfort zone is your routine, so it's what you do every day, you feel happy there, you feel really, secure about doing it. But then you're sort of limiting yourself about what you can do. Whereas if you sort of push yourself outside of your comfort zone is automatically going to grow. So, by taking up swimming, once you've done it and you've swum, a few laps and you've got over that fear, suddenly your confidence is going to grow, and the self-belief of what you can actually go and achieve. So doing something like a marathon, it scares you. You've got the fear from doing it because you don't know how it's going to turn out. But once you actually set that as your goal and start working towards it, and then there'll be a day when you actually finish it and you'll think, oh my goodness, I've done this.
Yeah, but Sarah, because you've done so much, so say you hadn't climbed Kilimanjaro, because I can't think of any other big mountains. Yeah. But say you thought, you've climbed one mountain, I'm going to climb another. How do you motivate it? Because it's like, I've got to climb another mountain.
I wouldn't look at it like that.
Isn't every mountain the same?
No. There's, I'd say it's more about, sometimes it's about the journey and going up there and you sort of pushing yourself. And once you do get to the top and you achieve it, it's your personal satisfaction because you've been the one to actually do it. So, and all mountains are different. And it's not about finding the biggest mountain to go and climb. It's about just doing anything that challenges you. So it could be going to climb Snowdonia. It could just be going for, a gentle walk along the beach. It's all about things that are going to challenge you more. But I didn't just start by going straight out and just running a marathon. Yeah. When I first started running, I couldn't even run to the end of the street. It was, it was like, this is ridiculous, why am I even doing it? But you build it up gradually over time. So it's suddenly, you run for 2 minutes, walk for a minute, and then suddenly it's 5Ks, 10Ks. And then, before you know it, actually running a marathon for me now is in my comfort zone. Yes. So that's why one of my next challenges, the Marathon des Sables, that's massively outside my comfort zone. It's something that sort of scares me. So
how do you train for that?
Well, I was doing, what was I doing? I do weightlifting to build like sort of strength. I do running, I do yoga for flexibility. I do enjoy boxing as well, just because it's great overall sort of cardio workout. But it's about getting time on your feet. So I would go for like, 20-mile walks, etc., just to get used to the distances. I actually was meant to be doing it this year, but because my training got so intense, I ended up actually burning myself out, that my doctor wouldn't sign me off, because when you go into the desert and you've got the heat, you're putting your heart under a huge amount of pressure. And if you're not at the right physical fitness, you're actually putting yourself in a really risky and dangerous situation. So it's about analysing those risks and thinking, actually, do you know what, I need to postpone this for a year to build my health back up again, and then go for it next year.
Wow. It does, but I'm sure the satisfaction you get, as you will agree, from first taking up going to the gym a couple of years ago to now doing this, is the satisfaction, is that what drives you on, do you think?
Yeah, definitely is. I mean, it's seeing the changes. For me personally, it was about obviously fitness, but also confidence. Like if you'd looked at me 2 years ago, I'd never have seen. I'm now taking fitness classes, teaching them. I'm standing in front of a group of 35 women, actually performing and motivating them, and they're coming to me saying, "Oh my God, wow, you're amazing to have lost so much weight," and to be stood in front of like 35 women and teach them and and motivate them and inspire them. It's just amazing.
Gives you more confidence to keep
on
going.
It keeps me. That it is. I'm getting confident the more that they believe in me.
Yes.
So yeah, I love it. It is amazing.
And now you're on TV as well.
I know.
But as women, we do have a lot of social challenges, because you've said obviously you found it hard originally to go to the gym because you've got 3 young children at home. What would you say to someone who wants to do such a huge, big task, as you said, like going for 20-mile walks and doing weightlifting? How can you fit that around life?
I think it's all about doing like what you can do and what your challenge is. So if you haven't done any exercise before, then you do have to start somewhere, and it could just be going for a walk with a friend, saying, "Come on, should we just go for a walk around the park?" Or just something really sort of easy and gentle. And it's about building up your confidence and doing that, and then just continually sort of pushing yourself onto the next thing that it could be. Because you don't run a marathon by just going out and running 26.1, 26.2 miles. It's actually it's running a mile 26 times, and so you build up to it over time. So it's just about sort of progressing and going on a journey to get it done.
I think with life the way it is now, I've noticed certainly on the Wirral, my own gym, Gravity, that does a lot of boot camps, and they encourage you to bring your kids, because as we said before, in schools now, the girls especially getting a little bit intimidated. If your son or daughter is used to that environment, it's only going to help them. They encourage you to take the kids to the gym.
I so agree. I bring my children to the fitness classes myself, even when I'm teaching them. My son, my 3-year-old, when I'm doing the plank, he gets on top of my back. It goes in between me, or he'll join in. He'll do the plank. He does burpees. He's star jumps. The cool down is the best one, because we're doing it to the Frozen song at the moment. And he loves it. It's
getting them involved, and it becomes normal. They just accept it.
But you're becoming like the role model. I mean, that's you want to inspire your children to be fit and to be active and to do these things. And the fact you're doing the plank with a little one crawling all over you is fantastic. So.
You do find you hear that a lot, though, don't you? People become parents and they automatically feel more responsible, don't they, to be a better role model?
Oh yeah.
Obviously, you're a fantastic role model anyway. Go on, what are you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, but it's also you want to be fit. You want to play with your children and run around the garden, and to do that, you've got to have energy and you've got to be fit.
That's why I started, to be honest with you, because before I was like, I wouldn't get out of bed. I just didn't have the energy. I'd take my kids to school, I'd come home and I'd get back into bed because I was depressed. Now I'm up at 6 o'clock. I don't go to bed till probably after 1 sometimes, depending on where I'm at and what I've been doing. And I've still got energy. It's like I probably had about 3 hours sleep last night. I am tired, I won't lie, but I'm here, I'm doing it. And I've got energy.
Sarah, you said before that you obviously you don't have children, but you do motivational speaking in school. So what does that entail? What do you tell these girls?
Well, I did one recently, and it was talking about sort of like challenge and change, and it was all talking about their comfort zone and facing their fear. But it was also getting them to think about what do they want to do during the summer. You know, do they have anything that, you know, is it they want to go to the zoo maybe, or go down to the beach? They want to go and, you know, spend time with their friends. And you'll also find that people will do more for other people than they'll do for themselves. Yeah. So as a parent, if your little girl or, you know, or sons came to you and said, Mummy, this is what I would like to do over the summer, you would want to help your child, you know, to go and do that, and to help them, encourage them to, you know, to go after their dreams and go after their goals. So it was all, I was telling them about my climb up Kilimanjaro and some of the challenges that I faced, and just explaining to them about how important it is to have a team around you. So we had a team of about 30 porters who were there to sort of help us and support us to get up the mountain, and it was important for them to think about who their team is, which is the parents.
Yeah,
I like that.
My
A witch.
A porter.
my daughter's actually, before I became involved in all this, my daughter didn't do no activity at all at school. She was just, you know, like me basically. But now, since she's actually doing netball, she's doing cross country, she's you know, football, she's in all after school clubs. My son, I mean, he's only in a rugby team, but he wasn't motivated in anything. You know, he'd like to have done football, but he wasn't good at it. Did try out for it, but didn't get in. But rugby, absolutely loves it, and it's one thing that he's actually kept throughout the whole term.
And you'll have been encouraging them to try new things and say, go and give that a go, try it out, you know, do something new. And when you're young and you've got somebody supporting you, you're actually more than willing to try it. It's only as you get older, when suddenly you're afraid of making a mistake or looking foolish, that you think, well, I'm not going to try that because I've never done it before. Whereas actually, you know, go and try the kickboxing or go and run a marathon.
And quickly, so you have got a book out. Tell everyone you've got 10 seconds to tell us about it.
So I have got a book out. So Kilimanjaro, Tips to the Top. So it's everything you need to know about climbing Kilimanjaro. It is available on Amazon. So go find it and go buy it.
Yes, go and buy it. I'm going to buy it because I'm going to start training for my marathon. I've loved the show. Thank you so much to Sarah. And thank you very much to Julie. And we'll see you next time for more 52%.